Hello everyone, welcome along to another video on the channel today. Today we will be reflecting on a couple of things, reflecting on the summer transfer business at Fulham. The window shut last night, deadline day has come and gone, and throughout the summer we've made 5 additions to the squad, and also we'll be reflecting upon Fulham's start to the campaign. We now sit top of the league after our opening few games with 13 points, and things are going quite well. But before we talk about all of that, I'm going to go all the way back to June and talk about the appointment of Marco Silva. To be honest, when he came in, I was very surprised. I'd never expected Marco Silva to be anywhere near the Fulham job. He wasn't one of the names really who was being touted around or one of the front runners for the job. Really, it looked, in my opinion, as if we were going to go for Steve Cooper. He was probably the favourite for the job. He had 2 good seasons at Swansea, 2 playoff campaigns, a semi-final defeat in his first season there, and also a playoff final defeat last season, both against Brentford, of course. And to me, he looked the most logical appointment at the time. I could never have. I kind of made a point for Chris Wilder, but if I'm being 100% honest, I never quite envisaged him being at Fulham, especially under the Khans. I never really saw him being there, really. I didn't think he was a Shide and Tony Khan appointment, if I'm being honest. And I just felt like, although lots of people were making a very valid case for him, he was the one who perhaps wouldn't have necessarily been the right fit, in my opinion. But fair play, Marco Silva came in. It was very, very left field, out of the blue. There was a lot of rumours going around the day before he got appointed that he was in talks with the club and was going to get the job, and he got the job. I must admit, I was very surprised. I looked at his past jobs before at Hull, Watford, and Everton. He did okay in all 3 clubs, really. I thought he's had a good start at Watford, jumped the ship there to go to Everton, didn't work out there after spending a lot of money trying to compete and trying to turn them into a club fighting for European places, and he's now back in English football with a point to prove. And these type of appointments, in my opinion, they can go either way. They can turn out to be really good, or they can go the complete opposite way and reflect quite badly. But I like the idea, to be fair, that he's coming in with a point to prove. And he wants to prove to people that he can do it in English football. He was scrutinised at Everton and scrutinised at Watford for jumping the ship after what looked to be a very promising start there. They started the season off very, very well. He obviously brought Richarlison to English football. And he brought him in at Watford, took him to Everton with him as well for a lot of money as well. I think it was £50 million, I think it was. It was a lot of money. And he's now coming back into English football for points to prove. I thought the appointment of Lewis Barr-Maltese as number 2, as he was at Everton with Marco Silva, they've been good friends since they were kids, so it completely made sense. And also for Lewis to come back to Fulham, I think that was a very wise decision by Marco Silva to have somebody on your coaching staff, number 2, who you've known for a long time, who's been at the football club you're working at, who's played for the football club, knows the bond between the fans and the club. He was a very well-regarded player at Fulham. He was part of some very good squads down the years and was also a very good player too. And I really think that was a very clever piece of appointing by Marco Silva to bring Lewis Barr-Maltese to Fulham. And from what I've seen so far, the style of football's been nothing short of exemplary. It's been really good. And what Marco Silva's done to this squad so far has been nothing short of miraculous. He's turned this group around from a team who, for large parts of last season, were short on confidence. Didn't create much last season. We weren't scoring goals last season. We were losing lots of games by the odd goal here and there. And we just weren't creating enough to try and give us any chance of staying up. The squad we had last year, in my opinion, was more than good enough to stay up. But we were managed by a manager or head coach, in Scott Parker, in my opinion, who was too cautious and perhaps too scared to let the shackles off. And when you're perhaps erring on the side of caution, trying to play for 1-0s and 0-0s or whatever you want to try and play for, you're going to lose games. And we lost too many games last season by the odd goal. And we lost too many games without really creating many chances. And it was always going to happen that we were going to go down. I'm happy Scott Parker left. I didn't really want him to be at the club after last season. I get some of the players last season perhaps didn't perform well enough, but I felt his style, his tactics, the way he set the team up for large parts of last season was negative. And it was always looking to try and play for a clean sheet more often than not when we need to try and score goals to win games, and we just didn't create enough last season and he had to go. And from what I've seen so far, Marco Silva's reinvented this football club. He's breathed new life into this club. And the way this group are playing now, they're playing with the shackles off. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with a smile on their face. They're playing at a very good tempo without necessarily the emphasis on lots of possession either. We want to keep the ball, yes, but we're not going to keep the ball for keeping the ball's sake. It's going to get forwards. It's going to go into the attacking third, and we're going to play on the front foot. And with the likes of with Harry Wilson, who's been a superb signing so far, since coming in from Liverpool for £12 million. And I think that £12 million could look to be a bargain by the end of the season. He's come in, okay, he got sent off against Huddersfield, a stupid red card, which he needs to learn to eradicate and needs to learn to control his temper. But in the games against Middlesbrough, again at the weekend as well, in our win against Stoke, I thought he played superbly, took his goal really well, took his goal fantastically well against Borough too. And to me, he adds a whole different dimension to our left-hand side. He's a quality player. He likes to run with the ball. He likes to get stuck in. And I just like the way he plays. I think he's been a superb signing. Marco Silva did say he wanted to try and bring him to Fulham. He was one of the first players mentioned to the board to try and bring him into Fulham. And I think that was a very clever piece of business. Looking at the rest of the players we've signed so far, the two boys last night coming from deadline day from Watford, the Watford pair of Nathaniel Chalobah and Domingos Quina. I think they're good, two very good signings. Quina comes in on a loan deal, and Nathaniel Chalobah's on a 2-year deal as well for an undisclosed fee. Chalobah will go into the midfield and try and give us a few more options, but I think really the strongest point of our squad's the midfield. We've got an abundance of talent in the midfield. We've got the likes of Kearney still to come back, who's still injured. Harrison Rees slowly getting back up to speed again. He's back in the fold now. Sean Mikel Seri's just it's like a new signing. What Marco Silva's done to him this summer has been nothing short of superb. A player who was never showed what we were probably expecting when he first came to the club, and he's been out on loan deals everywhere, under the sun since then, and he's come back this season. With all due respect, I didn't expect him to stick around. I thought he was going to go again, but Marco Silva's kept him in. Marco Silva obviously likes Seri a lot, and Seri's been superb. He's just running the show for most of these games he's played in. He's an absolutely outstanding midfielder, and you can sort of see why he'd easily play at a high level, and you can easily see why when we first signed him, why he was linked to these sort of clubs like Barcelona and Liverpool and what have you. And I think the turnaround from him's not only down to himself, but also down to Marco Silva and how well he's galvanised some of these fringe players who've been content to go out on loan and not play for the club. And I just think it's a lot of, you have to give lots of respect to Marco for coming in and really trying to galvanise the group again. We've also signed Muniz as well, the Brazilian from Flamengo's coming in as probably going to be back up in behind Mitrovic in case, I felt with Kamara going out on a permanent deal, we needed another striker. Muniz comes in, I think it was €8 million he's come in for, and he'll look to try and supply some extra goals with Mitrovic as well. And we've also got Jay Stansfield, the young lad who scored in the Cup against Birmingham. So I'm hoping he doesn't get frozen out straight away because I see a lot of talent in him. And I think he's the next young player in our academy, or who's come through the academy, through the youth setup, who I really do see breaking in and having a good breakout season possibly. He made his debut at Charlton a couple of seasons ago, and he took his chance well in the Cup a couple of weeks ago against Birmingham. And I hope he gets a run out as well. He's a very talented young lad, and I think he's got a bright future with us. Looking as well towards the goalkeeping department as well, Paulo Gazzaniga's coming on the free from Spurs. Not had to do much really since he's come in, not had to do too much at all. The goal against Millwall was a freak goal. He was unlucky really with the goal against Borough too, couldn't do much about that. And yeah, from what I've seen of him, he looks okay. I was a bit sceptical before he came in because I've seen bits of him before at Spurs when he probably wasn't too great at Spurs in certain aspects of his game. And he's coming to Fulham and I think he's done okay really. I don't think he's done a lot wrong. He looks to be the number one at the moment. Marco Silva's put his trust in him to start the season off, and he's played all the games apart from the Cup game, which Rodak played. And I expect him to still be number one after the break and gone into the games against Bristol City and Blackpool and looking further down the line into October and November as well. But from what I've seen so far from us, I feel like we've really stamped our authority on the season. We're showing teams at this level that we're not here to muck around. And ideally, hopefully it will be a short stay here again before we go back up to the Premier League. I hope it will be that way. It's not going to be easy, of course it's not, but we start the season off in the right way. We've played a lot of good football, scored a lot of goals, and that result against Huddersfield, in my opinion, looks a very good result now because they've, all of a sudden, ever since that game, they've kicked on a bit and they're now fourth. They've taken 10 points after we absolutely walloped them 5-1 at their ground, and they've taken 10 points and now sit in the top 5. So, they've really kicked on. That result to me looks a good result. The Millwall result was superb. We played them off the park. And even the Stoke game at the weekend, that was a game which I was thinking, okay, proper first test now. Unbeaten Stoke side. Michael O'Neill's turned them around this season, brought some good players in. And I really thought this is going to be the game where they're going to test our mettle early doors. And to be fair, we passed that with flying colours. Okay, so I fully expect Stoke to be up there this season. I'll be shocked if they're not because they look a good team. But I just think, arguably, we're a little bit a level or two above them. Of course, there's going to be games this season which we are going to lose. That's the nature of the beast in the Championship. You're playing 46 times. You're playing twice a week, Saturday, Tuesday. There's going to be times we're going to lose games, and it's going to happen. Norwich lost games last season, despite them absolutely walking the league. They lost a few games, and they went through a sticky spell in around January, February time as well. But they regrouped and they kicked on and won the league quite easily. But I really do think there will be times when it's going to be hard this season. There are going to be a few challenging times this season, but we've got a very good squad here. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. If the signings come in and they gel, I'm really excited to see Keena play. Chalobah will come in as well, very good player. Fantastic squad player with Anguissa going out on loan. It allowed us to bring in 2 extra deals. We've all stuck within the FFP rules, I think we have anyway. And nothing. I'm really excited about this season so far. I think Marco Silva's come in, done a very good job so far. Breathed new life into this football club, which was badly needed after the past couple of seasons. And it just seems to be going very well at the moment. We can enjoy it while we can. It's Fulham Football Club, it's never going to be easy, but enjoy it while we can, because it's been a fantastic start, and a start which I don't think really anyone envisaged for it to be going so well. We're only 2 points off of taking maximum points from all of our games so far this season. Perhaps it should have been 15 points so far, barring that not taking our chances against Borough. But yeah, we're playing brilliantly well so far this season. International breaks here now, so it gives us another couple of weeks for the players who've not gone away with their nations to regroup, allowed some of the new signings to bed in. And I think it's Blackpool away next, a trip to the Seaside and Bloomfield Road. They've not won a game at this season, but they're a good team as well. They're a lively team. Neil Critchley's done a very good job to get them out of League One last year after what was a very slow start. They picked up second half of the season, went on a superb run, and they'll be wanting to try and take a scalp early doors. And what way to try and do that and then beat one of the favourites for the league this season who've not lost a game. So it will be hard against Blackpool. We've got Bristol City come up as well, Nigel Pearson's side. So there's a couple of tough games coming up away from home. And transfer business, in my opinion, out of 10, I'll give it a 9. I think it was good business, clever business. The right-back issue, okay, Tete's going to be out for a while now, which is a shame because he's by far and above the best right-back in this league, in my opinion. Adoy's filled in at right-back and did okay at Stoke at the weekend, but ideally he's perhaps not long-term for me going to be the right solution until Tete's fit. Bobby Decordova can play at wing-back. He played right-back under Scott Parker last season, but with how he's playing so far in that attacking 3, we don't want to sacrifice that attacking threat by popping him in at right-back and taking that away, because he's a superb player. And he's been great the past 2 seasons, in my opinion. I've really liked him a lot. The work rate, the desire, the creativity, the goals, he's got everything. And he could easily be a Premier League player, in my opinion. He could easily play at that level. But there's options there, and I think Marco Silva's probably seen enough to suggest that perhaps we didn't need a right-back for the time being. And we can probably just allow that to happen without too many problems until Tete's fit. But yeah, been a great start to the season. And lots to look forward to going into the second part after the international break. Lots to look forward to, playing a great style of football at the moment, and hopefully it continues.